Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome into the Penny Bloom Podcast. It is I, Colton Robertson. And today it is the Mandalorian Rewatch Chapter 3, episode title, The Sin. Obviously, the Mandalorian Rewatch, this doesn't involve Tavares. He's not here. But I'm joined by the wonderful Joseph George. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
And my friend Kyler Barnett.
How's it going, guys?
Good to see you, buddy. And sadly, Miles couldn't join us this week. He's a busy cat, just like the rest of us. But we put the time in. No, I'm just kidding, Miles. We love you, buddy. And we can't wait to have you back next week. Today, the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer dropped.
Bum bum.
As of the day of recording.
It is, yeah, that's the thing. It's definitely weird. Like, we're going to talk about this and I'm so excited about it, but to know that, like, people are going to hear about it, like, a week from now, it's just so weird.
Yeah. So we record all these episodes a week ahead just to make sure that we have
yeah, I guess spoiler alert.
Content.
Sorry. Didn't know if that was some behind the scenes stuff no one was supposed to know.
Break the fourth wall. No, it's fine. I don't give a fuck. But the Mandalorian trailer dropped, and I was kind of wanting to watch through it on the podcast here, and we can talk about it. All right, I'm gonna pull it up right here, and then we can I'll pause and talk as needed. And if you guys have anything to say, let me know.
Cool.
Let's skip that ad. So we open on a planet and we see the Razor Crest fly by. And you're just like, fuck yeah, that beautiful fucking ship. Every time.
One of those engines isn't doing so hot though.
It doesn't appear so.
Yeah, that right one looks a little.
Yeah, the right one. It's blinking a little bit and kind of shooting a little dust out.
Yeah, it's sputtering.
Damn Jawas, man.
And then we got this voiceover from the armorer. You must reunite it with its own kind. We see a sand crawler, or not a sand crawler, a sand person on the back of a bantha. Fucking look at the little guy in the snow.
Oh.
So obviously he hasn't aged as much because that was one of the things Joseph was scared of, was that it was going to be like 100 years later. So obviously we're still pretty recent.
Yeah, we're still here. And at the 50-second mark, like Kyler was pointing out off mic, we see a hooded figure, and Kyler was posing introducing a theory to me that this could be Ahsoka's Padawan or an apprentice of some sort.
Yeah, so apparently it's from the Ahsoka, one of the Ahsoka novels. Is what I've heard. I've done a little. I haven't read a whole lot of the Star Wars stuff like that, like novels and stuff. But someone just tossed out on Twitter that it could be it's Hadala Fardi. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I read the Ahsoka novel by E.K. Johnston just a few months back, and
I thought you had tweeted
that
about
would
it.
be an interesting twist because
or maybe that wasn't Ahsoka. You definitely did with something.
Judging by the timeline, Ahsoka would have met Fardi at about a year. What's that?
Are you talking to me?
I'm just talking out loud. Yeah, I thought you tried to say something.
No, I think I kind of glitched out for a second. I heard you say something and then it cut out for 15 seconds. So I was trying to piece it back together.
All right. I'll start over. No worries. All right. So in the timeline, Ahsoka would have met Fardi just a year after the Clone Wars. So a year after the prequel trilogy ends.
Mm-hmm.
So where this takes place is about 5 years after episode 6. That would make this character late 20s, early 30s maybe, so that's probably applicable. That could be the case. It could also be Sabine Wren from the end of the Rebels series.
Yeah, I heard that was another. So I kind of just like scrubbed the whole comment section of that theory, and I was just kind of curious to just read up. I just like reading all that stuff, and that was another one of the theories of that it could be her. And I mean, honestly, I'm not. I don't really feel that strongly either way. I just know that it's like I love these little like teasers, like these little tidbits where it's like there's so much mystery.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm so excited for it to get here, but at the same time, I just love the anticipation of like a good trailer with like tons of like left to be desired.
Oh, and this music in this trailer that's just building throughout the whole time is perfect.
Gosh. Is it just me or my bad? You go.
If it's Sabine, I think it's more likely to be her because she had the Darksaber at one point, and it could just be a battle between Mando, Sabine, and Moff Gideon, and they're just all going, obviously Sabine can team up with Mando. They have a common goal.
Her being a Mandalorian also.
And I think it's just a match made in heaven, honestly. I think they're going to be two little lovebirds. They're going to show their face to each other. It's going to happen.
No, really? You think?
Calling it right now.
I think that if Sabine shows up, it'll be with Ahsoka and it'll be for one episode. And I think it will just be to set up a Rebels sequel series with Ahsoka and Sabine on their search for Ezra. I don't think there'll be much of a storyline with them other than Mando asking Ahsoka some stuff about Baby Yoda and obviously Ahsoka will be like, yo, I knew Yoda and like I knew this.
Oh my gosh, are we getting the
him.
Confirmation that Yoda made Whoopi? Is that what we're going to get from Ahsoka in the series?
I mean, it's a potential confirmation from Ahsoka here.
I mean, I'm just chills right now. I see it unfolding.
Let's I'll hit play on this trailer again. We can move forward. Yo, I just love I love everything about this.
The chill, bro.
I swear if this season has a pirate arc, an arc where Mando is battling on boats, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. That's gonna be so fucking cool.
That would be so sick. As we haven't seen that element before. Like you've seen the like salt planet in what is that? The eighth one? Where yeah, they've got like that whole like red, all the red and the salt and stuff. Great. Like, and then you've got all kinds, but you've never really seen water that much. Like it's just not that. I guess in the most
Rise of
recent
Skywalker.
One, yeah, I guess you see Rey and Kylo and that
on Endor.
Yeah.
But
I mean, other than that, water hasn't been that centripetal. So
mostly space and land. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, so
or air.
I'm looking forward to that. Maybe, and then we also get this view of Mando in some sort of fighting ring, or not in a fighting ring, but outside of a fighting ring at about the 125 mark, and he's walking into some sort of vicious cockfight. And I mean, like, so I think we're going to get more into the underworld this season.
Yeah,
I love that element. I definitely think. Oh my gosh, that part gave me chills. And also to back up a little, seeing the X-wings. Oh, that gave me like so much nostalgia. I just such a
perfect.
I know. I just imagine the red leader here, and I just am like, oh my gosh,
amazing.
Like, but I do agree. Like, I think we're gonna see a little bit darker. And I think one thing I noticed that stuck out to me, and it really didn't hit me until I just rewatched it just now, but it seems so much darker, like color wise. I know that sounds weird because there is a lot of dark like settings and stuff, but I feel like there's a lot more like bright color in season 1, or at least in my opinion. I don't know, that can be debated.
No,
on.
I get what you're saying.
Tripping.
I get what you're saying for sure, because in season 1 there was a lot of sand planets.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of sun a lot of the time, but this entire trailer looks just cloudy, kind of.
I think Mandalorian is so badass in that setting. Like, he's such a dark character. Like, you hit it on the head in episode 1 where you talk about him being Space Batman. I mean, just think about that,
Absolutely.
like darkness, like in a sense of literally just color is what I'm like. That kind of thing. It just fits so well. Like, he sits in that environment so well to me. You know, he just looks like that guy that lurks in the shadows and just absolutely runs shit.
There's a part in the episode we're going to talk about today that the entire time I was just like, Space Batman through and fucking through. Let's move on with this trailer. Oh yeah, we see the whistling birds.
Yes.
My
Which
favorite
Baby Yoda,
in
bro.
this episode.
Yes.
They come up in this episode that we're about to talk
Yoda,
about.
when he closed his...
Well, it shows that he's learning, bro. Like,
yes,
he
is.
knows what Mando is about. Like, cause in this episode we're about to talk about, he watches him use the whistling birds to take 4 dudes out. And he also recognizes that they're fucking wild. They fly everywhere and fly through people's heads. So he sees him arm the whistling birds and he goes, oh fuck.
Dude, I was rolling. That shit had me so dead. I was like, oh,
and I love how fast he moves because he's
I
never
know.
moved that fast.
He leaned over, hit that button, boom, back into bed. Man.
And then Mando throws that knife into that dude's chest.
Oh.
And he goes, this is the way.
God.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
Is such a badass thing to say after you just took down like 4 people.
This is
the way. Oh my God.
Like this is just kind of what I do.
Literally.
Maybe, okay, maybe he's looking at someone whenever he says it though. Because
maybe he is.
He's looking off camera, like, honestly, it could, that storyline's
like
gonna
he's
be
showing
cool.
off.
You think the whistling birds left anyone in the room?
Probably.
I mean, here's my thing. When I don't know. Do we jump into that part just for a second here? I mean, I kind of touched on it.
No, we'll get to it.
Okay, because we'll come back to the trailer in that scene because there is something I want to say about that.
There is a scene in this trailer too where it appears he's on some sort of ice planet. And there are theories going about that this will be Ilum, the planet where younglings get their Jedi kyber crystals.
If this isn't going to happen, I'm going to be sad.
I posed a theory to Joseph here. Oh, go ahead, Kyler.
No, I didn't mean to butt in, but I really want to see something happen with kyber crystals. Even though this isn't a Jedi-centered show, just like see them see it in person, because in the trilogy, in all the trilogies and all the movies, it's mentioned in passing kind of, but it's never really like super dove into or touched on, you see it in some other stuff, but really in the movies, it just kind of gets glossed over. And I would love to see in the show, just like see it and play out or have some sort of like mention that's a little bit deeper. But
what I posed to Joe off mic was that there are theories going about that Mando is going to be force sensitive eventually, and that's why he's connected to Baby Yoda and stuff. So my theory was that maybe he runs into Ahsoka, she tells them to go to Ilum to get Baby Yoda a kyber crystal. When they get there, Mando is drawn to a kyber crystal. I feel like that would be crazy.
So crazy. And when you first said it, when you first brought up that like you kind of wondered if Mandalorian might end up eventually becoming like force sensitive, like developing that. At first I was like, no, like we get so much force material. Like, I agree. I want to see him but then you said that and him being drawn to a kyber crystal.
If they do
like,
it
that's so
correctly.
Natural. Yes,
if they do it correctly,
that actually flows. That's seamless. Like I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't want it to just be like him not really showing any signs of it like a whole lot, and then all of a sudden like walking in and being like, yeah, just in case I'll just grab one of these. Like, you never know. But, like that would be annoying. But that development right there, I fuck with that.
Okay.
Another theory I posed to Joe was that perhaps Baby Yoda gets his crystal, right? But until Baby Yoda can come to the size where he can use the lightsaber, Mando uses it. And the culmination of the season is Mando versus Moff Gideon lightsaber battle. That'd be crazy, right?
Okay, I just thought of something very random, and I don't know why. But if Mando were to get a lightsaber, the handle would obviously be made out of their current... Yeah, that's obvious. What if Yoda's lightsaber, it's a little small boy like Yoda's.
Mm-hmm.
What if the handle is made out of Yoda's cane that he used to walk around?
Oh,
it's very weird.
Fucking crazy.
It's a weird thing to pop in my head, but if it does happen, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket.
I don't know how it would, but I would love it.
That is some Baby Groot freaking Thor, like that is some Infinity War. Like let me just chop off my arm right quick type shit. But I fucking love it. Oh my god.
I fucking love it. But yes, the season 2 trailer was fucking impressive. It got me even more hyped for this season. I think it's going to be fucking great. So, let's talk about The Mandalorian Season 1, Chapter 3, The Sin, directed by Deborah Chow and written by Jon Favreau. Overall, how do you guys feel about this episode?
Okay, I really liked this episode, and I feel like that's going to be the answer for almost every episode. I find it's going to be hard to like really say anything other than like I liked it. We kind of went over this last episode. Like Star Wars at its worst for me is like still like Star Wars,
and this is nowhere near Star Wars at its worst.
No, yeah, exactly. So I really like it. I liked that it, instead of like posing Mando against, like in the last episode we see it with the Mudhorn, and in this one it's kind of different. Like you kind of see him stacked up against a lot of different things.
Yeah, he's got even more insurmountable odds.
Yeah, this one just feels really combat heavy, like really just a whole lot of action, and I love it.
It's crazy.
It really hasn't been that way yet.
You're absolutely right. And when I was taking my notes for this episode, like I told you, my notes ran long for this episode. And it was because I was taking down everything that was being said because there wasn't an unimportant line. It was like when I was watching it, I felt like I needed to write everything down instead of just being able to pick and choose the moments, because there's so many direct quotes in this that like make the episode. Like everything was so important. Like it was, and then the combat, I felt like it was dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
But then we got to a point like about halfway through where shit picks up and it's
real.
All gas. It's all gas.
I know. I loved it.
I think I like this episode, like out of 1, 2, and 3. I think this one's my favorite because like we see a completely different side of Mando. Like, I mean, he starts catching feelings for Baby Yoda. Yeah. And I mean, it's just, I don't know. This episode's just beautiful.
I think I had went into last week's episode where you see Baby Yoda use the Force the first time, and I talked really highly about how Mando seems a little more like less Mando, I guess, in the last episode, like combat-wise. Like he's kind of getting, like he's not as dominant, I guess you could say. I kind of felt like after last week, I was like, man, I really liked episode 2. Like that's one of my favorites. And then you just said that, and now I'm thinking about it, and I just rewatched episode 3, and I'm like, this one's the best.
See, that's the thing too, is that when I watched the first 3, I remember coming off of this episode after the first time I watched it and just being like, holy fuck, like that was the end of an arc, you know, like now the story starts. And I was like, holy shit, because that was kind of just like a prelude and it was fucking phenomenal.
That's exactly. It seems like an epilogue to a book almost, what you would read before. Or prologue, my bad. I guess epilogue. Duh, my bad. But that's what I meant. I
think episode 1 and 2 were kind of slower and more setting up the scene of what the show's going to be about. And then episode 3 was just, let's get into it. Let's fucking go. And that's what happened.
Yep. So let's dive into this scene by scene breakdown, just like we do every week with episode 3, The Sin. So we open up on Mando and the Razor Crest, and we see Baby Yoda in his little pod, and we get this view from behind his head, and he's looking directly at this at the ball. You know the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody. If you don't,
the ball.
Nah, get better.
If you know Baby Yoda, you know the ball.
Got to.
And it motivates Baby Yoda to rise up. He needs that ball, and he needs it now.
Got it.
And during this, Mando receives a transmission from Grief Karga, and this another very video gamey thing for me. You know, he's like, bring him down. And he actually says, word for word, not sure if he wants to eat it or hang it on his wall, talking about the client.
Let's
in regards to Baby
go.
Yoda.
So I just want to
we now have in-show mention of eating Baby Yoda.
I want to make a pause for just a moment and say that I heard Joe say when talking about Baby Yoda in the ball how cute it was, and I want you all to know that you can't see this, that in our podcast right now, Joe's name is I need Baby Yoda in my mouth, and that is not in an intimate way. It is in I want to eat him.
Okay, I'll get more in on this at the end of the episode.
We're dedicating a segment at the end of the episode to Joe's. Joe's
apologies, I jumped the gun, but I just had to get that in there because I heard him say cute, and I thought,
maybe I'm pulling you the wrong way.
That percentage could go either way, you know.
Maybe that name is a complete lie. You never know.
I guess you don't. And Baby Yoda makes his way to the little ball, and he's playing with it. But Mando stops him, and he lifts him up by the back of his little cloak thing, and sets him back in the pod, like he's this fucking like.
I know he's really not that attached yet.
No,
like,
not at all.
Yeah,
he's definitely full on.
He's gaining an appreciation.
I'm gonna drop him off. Like I'm just dropping him off, and it's like not my problem.
Absolutely. They make planetfall on Navarro, and they head into the city looking for the client. And Baby Yoda looks around, and we see the astromech droid that they use to try and escape later. And we see some Jawas. Fuck you, Kyler. And we see a tiny little astronaut. Did you guys notice the tiny little astronaut?
What?
I did not notice.
I never noticed the tiny little astronaut. It's like a half-second cut, and it's just a very small person
I just saw it
in an astronaut costume.
Whoa.
What the fuck is that?
What?
Okay, so is it talking with the Jawa?
No, it's he's kind of walking.
It's walking past.
Okay, I have it on my TV, so I'm gonna pull it up.
But it's like really full blown the focus of that cut. Like you're
supposed
to notice.
I will maintain the conversation, but I'm just gonna find it very quick.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna proceed. They arrive at the client's little hideout, and they are greeted by that seeing eye droid again. And the stormtroopers see them in, and they bring the baby directly before the client. And the way that the stormtrooper places his hand on the little pod, and Mando's like, "Hey, watch it." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" He's like, "There's the first symbol of that attachment."
I know.
Like, be fucking careful, man. That's my baby.
He literally just put his hand on it. Like it wasn't even like that rough. Like he just touches it, and he's like, "Hey."
You're like, "Hey, chill the fuck out, man."
Yeah.
And so the Baby Yoda is before the client, and the client goes, "Yes, yes, yes." I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a fucking creep.
Really building the maniacality. That's definitely not a word, but I think everyone can attest.
Now, if you have been in a podcast and you said a word, it's a word now. We next see Dr. Pershing taking a scan of Baby, and he tells the client he's healthy. And the client tells Mando that this bounty was of extreme importance to him. And that's why he sent so many fucking bounty hunters after it. And but to the winner go the spoils. And this is fucking cool. The Kamtono of fucking Beskar, the way they pop that shit open, the way it's just an ice cream maker. It's an ice cream maker.
What?
What? Like, that's so badass, and I can't help but feel like it's also so unnecessary.
It's
Why
also
are ice cream makers cool?
Like
that thing looks so cool.
It's so badass. I mean, they modified it to do what it does, but it is at its base just an ice cream maker.
Are you serious?
And it's actually a reference to in The Empire Strikes Back, while they're trying to escape Cloud City, there's a guy running in the background, and they needed something to look like some futuristic device, and some dude in the background ran by with an ice cream maker.
Oh,
and now,
my God.
Ever since, that has had like its own little cult fan base within Star Wars.
Okay, so we're gonna have to come back to that, like that line, not the guy in the background, but like what that is, because I have something in my notes about it, and now I know that that's what it is. So like we're good. So we'll have to come. I'll touch on that.
And the fucking name for it, a Kamtono. That's fucking cool. I want to call everything I put things in a Kamtono. Yeah, it's so fucking cool. But then Baby Yoda is getting taken back to the little room, and he looks back at Mando, and my heart just breaks into a million fucking pieces.
Oh my God.
And he whines out. He does that little thing, and Mando's just like looking at him like fuck.
Yeah, I love that he has a helmet on, so it's like you can't like see any emotion, but like
you know
it's there.
It's like
you know it's there.
It's definitely like he's got a little glint in his eyes under that mask.
Well, and that's what's beautiful about the mask too for the Mandalorian is that like no matter what, it automatically comes with the information that he's hiding his feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's part of his character. Like that's something he's felt he has to do. So like with a mask, that automatically comes with that. He doesn't have to express feeling. He can just be the Mandalorian. He can just be the badass bounty hunter. If he takes the helmet off, he becomes a person, you know?
Right.
And he has to take care of this child and shit. But after that, Mando asks the client what the plans for the baby are.
What are you gonna do with it? Called Baby Yoda an it. So technically, I don't know if relationship.
He constantly refers to Baby Yoda as it or the baby or the child. Never actually uses pronouns. Interestingly enough, so we don't know. Baby Yoda could be a female.
Maybe, he don't want to check out. Like, that's weird. Like, it's an alien species. You don't even know. Like, how would you know?
Yeah, and so when he asked the client what his plans for the baby are, he says, "How uncharacteristic of one with your reputation."
The impressions are spot on tonight. Joe with the Mandalorian and Colton with the client, just killing it.
He says, "You've received commission and payment. It is not the code of the guild isn't it the code of the guild that these events are now forgotten?" And I was like, "Damn, that's kind of rough." He's just wondering what the fuck you're gonna do to this baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a baby. Like, I feel like you can throw a little bit. Like, there's a little leeway in those rules. It's like, baby, hey man, bro. If I brought you some only reason that has killed like a gazillion people, I'm down to forget it all. But like, this is a little baby who I found in a pod in a warehouse. Like, I just kind of.
And the only reason you deflect that question is because you have bad fucking plans for that baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
But how funny? Be honest. How funny would it have been for him to just be like, "Oh, we're gonna kill the shit out of this guy"? Mandalorian at the time is like,
and he's just like, well, "Thanks for the honesty," and then like, but Mando makes his way back through the streets with his payment in hand and arrives back at the Mandalorian covert, and he again goes to see the armorer. And many Mandalorians come to see the riches bestowed upon him. You know.
He must feel like a boss, dude.
Well, like she says that this, what she says, this amount I could, she could do like a whole bunch of stuff with it. Oh man, this scene. I guess if I don't know if you have a little more of the rundown you want to go through with this scene before I go into it, but I have so much to say.
Well, just if you come to a point where you feel like you need to jump in, all right. And he says that his armor is done for. He needs to begin again, which I thought was a fucking cool way to say, I need new armor.
Yeah.
I need to begin again. Like, that's his identity. Like, this armor is him. So now that it's beaten to shit, I need to start over. Okay. Like, I need to be remade. So
now I think it's really cool because we talked about how vulnerable we felt like Mandalorian was. Not only physically, but like he looked like he was like
beaten to shit.
Yeah. I think it's cool that now you bring up that he's wording it that way, and it's like it's like he gets a lot of his identity out of that. Like that's a really cool parallel that I kind of like. We just kind of like I guess fell into right there, kind of incidentally, but I really
just kind of happened upon it.
Yeah, I like that.
But the heavy infantry Mando, as he is referred to, voiced by Jon Favreau, by the way, walks up and says that this is Imperial payment. That they stole his best car in the Great Purge, and it's the reason they now hide underground.
Yeah, and he seems kind of bitter. So, okay, now I'm going to jump in because this is where
Go for it.
So, I love that he says this, that they bring up that it's Imperial, and there's almost a little bitter sentiment from the other Mandalorians, kind of, because obviously we know that the Great Purge, that was a lot of, a lot of scummy behavior going on there, and that's kind of why they have to hide underground and everything. Like, that's the horror that a lot of these Mandalorian have. And then I love when she starts doing the thing, going through and smelting and doing all that stuff. And I love first of all, I love the cinematography, the way that it put Mandalorian to the armor, or the Beskar getting melted, and the way that the Imperial emblem collapses in on itself. That just seems so powerful. It seems, it's beautiful. It's pretty insignificant, and it's like in a way, but it just is so like powerful when you think about it. And then when it cuts to flashbacks, when Mandalorian is sitting there and having those flashbacks, the fact that there's the bitter sentiment from the other Mandalorian about bringing in this Imperial units and stuff, and then to see it get repurposed not only into Mandalorian's armor is badass as shit, and that's like a whole deep layered thing that this thing that represents a horrific and awful thing is now being turned into his protection and what he finds his like comfort and strength in. Fucking awesome.
Very, very powerful. Very powerful stuff.
When you started talking about how like, one thing, when we were talking about Yoda and when he left, when he left Baby Yoda there and he dropped him off, all that stuff, and he left, you don't get a whole lot of a sense that there's a lot of second thoughts just yet.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He's not a lot yet. Like, he's still feeling semi-ish okay. Obviously, you've got the, hey, watch it.
Well, it's that part of he wants to hide his feelings. He's even suppressing his own feelings within himself. He's lying to himself.
In the end, he leaves and he's kind of like, he's going to get his armor. So obviously his mind is like sort of at ease a little bit with it. It's tough to say, but definitely like he's not like rushing back just yet. Yeah. So I personally, in the way I interpreted it and the way I felt and was moved by this scene in particular, where they're breaking down the armor and it's just flashing from the iron or the Beskar and then to Mandalorian, and then the flashbacks come in. I personally interpreted this scene where you're seeing all these horrors, these awful things happening, the Great Purge, and you're seeing, little Mandalorian. He's like just like all kinds of shook up and everything. You see this powerful imagery. I personally feel like that he lost his parents in the Great Purge. There's just all kinds of horrors.
That's actually not the Great Purge.
It isn't?
No, it is not, because he's a foundling. Mm-hmm. That's not on Mandalore.
Oh. Well, I just sound stupid now.
No, you don't. I get the confusion, because like I thought that the first time I watched it too. But he reveals that he's a foundling, right? And this is a rewatch podcast, so I feel comfortable spoiling this. When we get this full scene, and that the fucking battle droid opens up the fucking it's a Mandalorian who comes and saves him. Oh. Because they were coming to that world to find foundlings, I'm assuming.
Okay. So that's okay. Yeah. Now it makes a little more sense. But thank you for clearing that up, because I would have felt awful for people listening and being like, God, this guy is just a fucking idiot. And then all the other guys just let this shit go unchecked. But really, though, even then, though, still the trauma that he felt, and then that abandonment of like his parents being gone, I think that imagery and why we get that flashback leads to him going back to get Yoda. I think that
absolutely. This is what he's remembering.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the trigger for him. Is like, man, that was like,
well, because he was a foundling. He was just a child who needed to be protected.
Right, and I think that's why he goes back. Personally, I don't even think that's that much of a reach. I kind of framed it like it was, but it's probably
you're absolutely right. We see the armorer and the heavy infantry Mando go back and forth for a little bit here, and he says, "Our world was shattered by the Empire with whom this coward shares tables." And then he grabs Mando by the helmet, resulting in a fight where we see the vibroblades at work. Awesome. And those things are fucking cool. Now that I recognize that they vibrate.
That's so dope.
And what a bold fucking move to start a fight by grabbing a dude's helmet by like the chin.
Like, and that's like the worst thing you can do to a Mandalorian. Because it's kind of threatening, like, I'm gonna fucking shoot your helmet off.
Right.
Like, it's not hockey. They don't throw gloves, take their helmets off to fight. It's you gotta leave that shit on.
I mean, I would have been curious to see the results of a fight like that. Mandalorian's armor is just gonzo. I mean, that dude's probably just getting... That's a dicey fight, for sure.
It is. But the armorer cools down the situation at hand, talking to them about the way of the Mandalore, how one who has chose this life cannot be a coward because they are both the hunter and the hunted,
Can we just appreciate how badass the armorer is?
Oh, dude, the armorer is one of my favorite characters in the show, just because she's just always steady.
She never raises her voice.
So noble. Like, if you get that sense, like, she's just like.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that like in the last episode, the Mandalorian says, "I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are a part of my religion." Yes. So naturally, the armorer is like the Pope.
Yes. Literally to them, yeah. Like the creator of their weapons and armor. Like, I mean, a lot of parallels. Yeah.
This is the way. And that's the first time. This is where we first hear "this is the way," and we were just like, "Oh fuck yeah, this is awesome!" I heard that and I was like, "Oh my god, that's an awesome catchphrase."
It's kind of like Wakanda Forever, how that like everyone was doing that for so long, and
I I really want to know who in charge at Disney or Star Wars or whoever the creative is, who is like, I want to see the abandoned list of what they would say. Like, what were the other ones? Like,
yeah.
This is how we do it. Like that. That's the like. I want to see the alternatives. Like, what were the ones they crossed out? How many did they go through before they arrived at this?
Such is the way of things.
Yeah, it really do be like that. Like
the way this is.
But this is also where we first learned that they cannot take their helmets off.
Yes.
Under any circumstance, which is.
I mean,
I don't know how did that even come about? She says earlier in the scene, our secrecy is our survival, and our survival is our strength. So the secrecy and keeping themselves hidden is part of that strength, I guess.
Yeah, but everyone identifies that mask and that armor as Mandalorian, so like, is it really that? Like,
I mean, they're always ready for one, and it's just, I mean, it's like a symbol. You know, it's kind of like they were talking about in the docuseries, is that everyone in Star Wars has a silhouette, and you can't break that silhouette. And
yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
But with the ties with Mandalorians, like it's just, I don't know a good analogy, but it's just a way of showing that you're in this forever, or like until you take that helmet off. That is the last straw. If you're out, you take the helmet off. That's your way of saying like, I'm out, or you die. So I just think it's like, it's sort of like or like the Jedis, like they can't have relationships. And if you do it, you're going to get kicked out of the Jedi Order sort of thing. And maybe it's just the Mandalorian's version of that.
Well, it is. Like, I think we hear at one point, he's like, I think next episode, he's like, someone asked him why you can't take the helmet off. He's like, because if I do, I can never put it back on.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, my bad.
That's a fucking phenomenal line, by the way. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think the thing for me, that line, like hearing him, like them talk about how like that mask can't come off, I'm like, damn, we're really never going to see what's under the mask. Like, I mean, I know it's Pedro Pascal and like this and that, but like, is he going to be mangled like underneath the mask? Like, what's he going to look like under that thing? And then in the end, you get the reveal and it's like dead ass just Pedro Pascal. And it's almost like, man, like I'm not disappointed. I really was I worked up a lot of curiosity about what was going to be underneath that.
The thing about that scene too is that like he's really fucking beat to shit when they reveal his face. So I mean, Pedro Pascal is a good-looking dude, but he's also like a good-looking, normal-looking dude. He doesn't look like overwhelmingly beautiful.
Yeah.
So when he looks all beat to shit like that, he takes off his helmet. You're just kind of like, oh, it's just a normal fucking guy.
But maybe that's the point.
It is the point. Like that is part of the point.
You don't want Channing Tatum under there. Like,
I just want to imagine that, like, if he ever had his armor come off in his, like, whatever uniform, he's just got a nice little, like, beer gut going. Like, he's just a real everyman couch potato kind of guy. Like,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But next we see Mando tell the armorer that his damage was sustained from a mudhorn, and she says that he will take that as his signet. But he's like, nah, fam.
Nope.
You don't understand. This wasn't a noble kill. I got help from the enemy. And she's like, why did the enemy help you? And he was like, it didn't know it was my enemy. And I was like, oh, this is fucking gut-wrenching. Like, that's so sad.
Dude, like, just really, like, the fact that he's, like, having to talk about it and, like, think about it this much, it's like...
Yeah, he's like...
any doubt that he was going to go back, at this point, I like to think he's just like...
That question right there was like...
Why do I gotta go back? Like, why am I going back? Like, that's just my imagination. Like, he's like, God damn it!
And so she's like, okay, that won't be your signet then. With the extra ones, I'll make some whistling birds. They're pretty badass. And then he's like, but please save some for the foundlings. And she's like, yes, always save some for the foundlings. The foundlings are the future. This is the way. This is the way. I fucking love the way they all interact with each other.
It's very great. Professional.
It is. It's all very straightforward. And I mean, they don't fuck with subtext. Subtext is for cowards.
That's true. They do get right to the point.
Mandalorians just all have a ton of burner accounts. That's just all it is. They just got to get out from there.
And then right here is where we get another forging montage where we get the back and forth between the slams of the hammer and the flashbacks to what happened to Mando when he was a kid. And we see a a further reveal of the scene. We get a super battle droid that opens up the place where he was hidden. Therefore, that's probably where his intense hate for droids comes from.
I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, if he killed my parent, I probably wouldn't like him that much either.
I can't imagine so. Yeah, that'd be some pretty fucking scary shit though.
Yeah,
those are pretty imposing, and that's what's so cool about this show too, is that like I've never looked at those battle droids and gone, those are particularly scary. But like that shot, if I was under there, I would be fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And he's just so defenseless, and like it shows like he had nowhere to go. But then like, oh my god, whoa,
Mandalorians.
Sorry, I just had a revelation. I don't think it's too good enough to go deep into, but
maybe we'll save it for whenever that full scene gets.
That's true. That's true.
Next, we cut to the cantina where Grief Karga is just digging into another bounty hunter because he's like being on some fuck shit. I don't know. I didn't really get what's going on, but then Mando walks in with his pimpin' new armor, bro. This man looks fucking drippy, and he's just drawing all the eyes in the room. And Grief Karga's like, "They all hate you, Mando, because you're a legend." And I'm like, I fucking love Carl Weathers.
Hype man,
bro. He's fucking amazing. And Mando's like, "How many of them had fobs?" And he goes, "All of them. All of them." Way over the top, and I fucking love it. He's just like, all of them.
All on blast, like just right there, like.
Man,
like, none of them could do what you did.
It is really bold to have a full suit of armor, very reflective, like in a movie set or a movie setting.
Yo, it's crazy too, because Karga tells us that this is the richest reward that the Parsec has ever seen, and he's just wearing it around.
Yeah, I mean, it's his livelihood.
It's like
that man's wearing the shit
that is the most expensive. Damn,
that's the most expensive outfit in the galaxy. Bro is just flexing on everybody, okay? And Karga continues to tell him that he's not jealous of him. He's like, all these other people, they're gunning for that armor, but not me. Your success is my success. When you get the money, I get the money, and I'm very satisfied with that. And Karga's like, how can I guarantee or show you my gratitude? And Mando's like, more jobs.
Yeah, this dude
me more.
Just like got the history, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna take a vacay or anything like that. Like, fuck that shit. Let's get right back.
Well, he's also just trying to get his mind off Baby.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that.
Big time. And Karga's like, yo, chill the fuck out for a second. Get yourself a Camtono of spice. Launch yourself in the hyperdrive.
That is the thing I had in my notes. First of all, Camtono, again, great word.
Fire.
Love the addition to the vocabulary. Second, this man basically just told Mandalorian, like, dude, you just like secured the biggest bag ever. Go get high as fuck and just vibe.
Yo, he also told him, I can take you to the Twi'lek healing baths.
Dude.
Did we just get the Star Wars version of a brothel?
Yes. I mean, hey, if they don't clear it up, like, our minds are allowed to wander any R-rated, X-rated direction we want. Like, I like to imagine, like, if they go in there, like, Lamar Odom's just chilling, like, just like just chilling in there. No, but he said a Camtono of spices, and by the time you come out of hyperdrive, I mean, that's absolutely
that's a fucking bar right there. That's bars.
I mean, that's gotta be it's weed. I can't imagine it in any. That's the Star Wars.
You remember in The Rise of Skywalker when we learned Poe Dameron used to push spice?
Yes, yes.
and Finn was like, you sold spice? Get your spice, and he's like making fun of him.
Man is an intergalactic drug dealer. Like, what?
And that made my respect for Poe just skyrocket. But next, Mando takes a seat with Karga, and he shows him all the fucking bounty pucks, and we get a view of one of the bounties potentially, and it's a Mon Cal royalty. And I think we see this planet in the season 2 trailer of The Mandalorian, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
This Karnak, that the all water planet that he talks about, because in this next part he goes, you're heading to the ocean dunes of Karnak. And in the trailer, I think we saw a lot of Mon Cal there. So
okay.
I don't know why. I don't know how it can. I don't know if it connects to this or if that was just like we're gonna go here eventually. Just know this place exists.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll see. And maybe it's not even the same place. I don't know, but just an idea. As Mando gets up and walks away, he's still being bothered by what the fuck they're gonna do to Baby, and he turns around and he's like, "Do you know what they're gonna do with it?" And he's like, "No, I didn't ask. That's against the guild code, man." And he's like, "But their empire, what are they doing here?" He's like, "Bro, the empire's gone. Chill the fuck out. It's just nothing but fucking warlords and mercenaries. All right, calm the fuck down."
I think somebody touched on this in one of the last 2 episodes, but I love the way the stormtroopers, like, who they are now. Like,
they're all just remnants.
Yeah, they're basically, I mean, first of all, do they get to change out of those things? Like, do those get washed? Like, those things have got to just reek. I mean, we're talking however many years of just stench in that crotch. I mean, it's got to be brutal. But point being, I love the way that they're just like, I mean, when the Empire fell, like, not all of them died. So, like, I love the way they're getting repurposed into here as, like, basically, like, bodyguards to a degree. Like, they're
mercenaries.
Yeah, I think that's
soldiers for hire.
Yeah, literally for hire. That's the word I was going to use. It's like, they were just on the streets like, hey, I got a day labor here. Like, I'll protect you. Probably miss all my shots, but, like, I'm not going to tell you that. So,
yeah, I don't know. It could be because they're literally hardwired to be on that side.
Yeah, they're fucking brainwashed at this point.
I mean, it's just
a lot of them. They
see that logo, the dude's big gold medal Empire logo.
Imperial, yeah.
Sorry. Wow. Anyways.
I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, but then they're just like, ooh.
Oh, I was just saying the same. My bad. I wasn't trying to correct you or anything. It was just the same thing.
Oh, did we say the same word?
You said Empire, I said Imperial.
Gotcha.
In essence, basically, it's either or wrong.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're both correct. But yeah, they're just like, follow that guy.
Yeah.
He's got the logo.
The use of the stormtroopers and the way like they're used in this is just like badass.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Mando makes his way to his ship and he sits in the cockpit, fires up all the systems, and he goes to pull the lever that had the ball on the end of it. It's gone.
The ball.
And he grabs it, he picks it up, and he looks at it all close and stuff, and he's just moving real slow. He screws it back on all slow, and he leans back in his seat, and he's just like,
fuck.
And then he powers the shit down, and he starts moving all quick, and I'm like, fuck yeah, go back for Baby.
I just gotta imagine in his head, he's just so pissed off, like, God damn it. Like,
he's like weighing the options. He's like, okay, I can either go back, get this really cute kid that saved my life, and also start a war, or I can just go on and forget everything and take some of this spice, maybe.
Have you guys watched That 70s Show?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it all, but I'm like, I just started watching it like a month or two ago, and I'm like a couple seasons. I'm like season 5 or so.
It just got taken off Netflix, so you'll never get to see it again. But in season 1, when Hyde's mom walks out on him, and Red and Kitty, Eric's parents, come to see him, and Kitty's trying to convince Red to be like, come on, let him come live with us. And he's like all pissed the entire scene. And then he sees how Hyde is living and he goes, God damn it, Hyde, pack up your shit. We're fucking going back to the house. Fuck this. God damn it. He's like,
I know.
He's pissed that he's doing the good thing. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, God damn it. I can't believe I'm getting myself into this shit.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel Mandalorian is.
Yeah, 100%. The music swelled that entire time. He's here for the fucking baby, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is it now. He makes his way back to the client's place, and he's making his way through a series of alleyways, and he happens upon a dumpster with Baby Yoda's pot in it. And he was like,
he's
fuck
dead,
no.
The heartbreak I would have felt if I was Mandalorian.
I'm gonna fuck shit up.
I legitimately thought Baby Yoda was dead at this point, and I'm like,
no,
what?
my bad. Yeah,
no,
he literally like fights so fucking angry. Like he is just fucking them up with like so much like ease. It's just like, dude, and the way when the little camera comes out and he just fucking rips the shit out of the wall. just like he's had it. He's like,
we'll get to my favorite thing in
kid.
any Star Wars fight ever here in a little bit. But he makes his way to the rooftops and he for some recon using some thermal imaging and some sort of sonar technology that he can hear shit. And he listens to the client talking to Dr. Pershing, and the client says, "I order you to extract the necessary material and be done with it." So they're trying to get some sort of DNA to clone Baby Yoda, maybe?
Yeah, my first thought was Force, like they're thinking Force related, like is there some way they can get some kind of, which I know sounds dumb, but like they probably don't really understand how that works.
Oh yeah, 100%. They have to run these tests and shit.
So my way of thinking is maybe they're like, oh, let's see, this thing seems like it might have some like ties to the Force somehow. Maybe we need to like see if we can get something out of it. Yeah, which like obviously sounds pretty dumb, but like I said, they probably don't know it's not really how it functions. So like,
or clone it.
Yeah, I was thinking clone it because Dr. Pershing, there's a little patch on his shoulder that is worn by the people on Camino where the clones were made.
Really?
Yeah.
You are so good at noticing shit like that. I had never seen that.
Yeah, it's very, very subtle.
Kudos to you. I feel like you say that to not hurt our feelings, and then we'll go rewatch, and it's just like this whole.
It's the main focus.
It is his on his fucking forehead, just like right in the middle, just right there.
But oh shit! I lost my place in my notes. Never mind. All right, I'm back.
Listening. Yeah.
After some jumbled audio, the Pershing responds. He has explicitly ordered us to bring it back alive. He has explicitly ordered us to bring it back alive. That's Gideon, right?
Yeah, I mean,
mystical he.
Right.
Yes.
I'm assuming. And the client says back to him, "Finish your business quickly, as I no longer can guarantee your safety." Was that a threat on his life? He was like, "If you don't do this shit, I'm gonna go ahead and kill you here and now." Right?
Probably.
It's rough. It's a rough game. Life's a dirty game. You got to play dirty to win. Mando has had enough by now. It's time to move. He knocks on the door. He breaks the seeing eyeball, all full of fucking rage and shit. And then a couple of stormtroopers come out, but he's already making his way to the back of the building. You know, he puts a little bomb on there. Boom, blows that bitch out. And now he enters and goes to work. Simple. Shoots down 2 stormtroopers, fights another to the ground, grabbles one by the waist and stabs him with the vibroblade in the back. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking brutal.
That was crazy to me because like he'd been using his blaster the whole time and like obviously having zero problems. And then all of a sudden it almost just seems like for fun. He's like, let me just absolutely like
stab this dude.
Yeah, let me freaking use my.
Well, in that moment, like it's easy in Star Wars to forget that their blasters kill.
Yeah,
because all of them do it just so fucking boop boop boop. All of you die, ha ha ha.
We don't hit them usually. Nobody ever gets hit almost with the storm.
The Mandalorian. At this point, I see him stab this dude through the back, and I go, "Oh shit!" Everyone we've watched him shoot, he's definitely killed.
Yeah,
there's no doubt. And so he's got a fucking body count by now. But but dude, that fucking stab was fucking brutal. He catches his first blaster bolt on the new Beskar. No worry though, the stormtrooper's definitely dead. He comes face to face with Dr. Pershing. Points a gun at him. Pershing's like, please no. The only reason this baby's alive is because of me.
Yeah, and, I kind of like that. Like in this imperialist world, you get more of the like. 1 foot in, 1 foot out bad guys. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I think Pershing has a conscience. He has a conscience, but he like is also working with the bad guys. But like in a lawless world, you kind of like what other choice do you?
You do it. Life's a dirty game. Yeah. You got to play dirty to win.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I guess you kind of see it. Like you see, oh shoot, I'm totally blanking. But in the last movie,
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name. He's a huge character. I should know his name, but he's on the dark side, or he's on the Imperial. Yeah. Well, no, it's the other guy. The guy that he's pissed off because he feels like he gets no respect, and then why am I blanking on the name?
Huck.
Huck.
General Huck. Yeah.
Thank
There
you.
we go. Okay.
I don't know why I was blanking so freaking hard. I feel so bad. People are gonna think my intelligence level is like 0, but that's okay. I guess he's kind of like shows the 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing I kind of reference, but like still, I just think it's nice. It's encouraging to see like it's not just like Pershing.
A galaxy with a conscience.
Yeah, Pershing wasn't like, yeah, let's kill him. He was like, he's like a kid. Like, am I the only one that sees this? Like, he's literally a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mando sees Baby laying out on this table, and he sees the little medical droid floating above it, about to like prick him with like a needle. So he shoots that bitch down real quick. And Pershing's like hiding his face. He's like, please don't. And again, very Space Batman. By the time Pershing looks up, Mando is made off with Baby Yoda.
I'm glad you brought. I think we're gonna come back to that reference a whole lot. I just love that. It's so perfect.
Constantly like Batman.
It's you. I mean, think about in Star Wars and like the movies and stuff. You don't really get a character like that exactly. I mean, I guess maybe if you want, it's hard to say. Darth Vader.
There isn't one. It is Mandalorian. Like there isn't a Batman.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you've got for Vader is he wears like the same color, I guess. But like in terms of the actuality and like who he is, like no, not even close.
Yeah, for sure. And on Mando's way out of this room, he runs into a couple stormtroopers who were dumb enough to try. And after those two comes some more. And he electrocutes one to death, shoots another, and then the last one, he burns alive with his flamethrower.
And you hear all the screams.
And Baby Yoda's just watching along.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I love the versatility. Like, the man is just like one weapon to the next, and it's awesome.
It's lethal. It's another thing that makes him very Batman-esque, is that he has so many options at his disposal.
Mm-hmm. I think that, and then I think in an episode where it's so combat heavy, like where there is just so much fighting and so much action, I think you have to make it very different.
Yeah.
Throughout the episode, because I'm not gonna say it gets stale. I don't know if I'd ever get tired or bored of Star Wars seeing anything.
But that's not what Star Wars is. Star Wars is innovating, you know?
It's so, like, those fights, there's so much different, like, ways that, like, I mean, I gotta be honest, I haven't seen someone just get stabbed in the back by, not a lightsaber, like a knife.
Or burned to death.
Yeah, like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy shit right there.
The way they introduce so many different ways, like it's
the only other death that I can think of that was like near as brutal as this guy getting burnt to death, and we hear all the screams, is Maul in the last Clone Wars arc, where he cuts the dudes in half with the door when he's walking down the hall, and he like cuts off heads and cuts off people at the waist and shit. Like, that was brutal. That was dark, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
The flamethrower gave me real Grandmaster Thor Ragnarok when he uses the melting stick and melts alive, and he's just screaming. That's kind of the vibe.
He loves that flamethrower, though.
Oh, he really did. And it comes back to bite him in the ass later that he did this so much to this dude. But when he enters another room and it appears that they have him surrounded, Mando surrenders. He lays down Baby Yoda and goes to his knees. And very slowly he arms the whistling birds, and they take out everybody in the room.
Oh, man.
So awesome. So fucking cool.
What a beautiful weapon.
Oh, dude. And I'm so glad that he's going to be able to use them again.
Yeah, I think my thing is like I said earlier about how there's so much action in this episode, you need different, like, it can't feel like, oh, he's just blasting just blasting his way out. Mm-hmm. You don't buy that with Mandalorian. Like, you don't buy, especially when he's so outnumbered. You can't just buy that this is that good with a blaster that he can take them all. I mean, I would buy it, but like, you don't want to see, they're not going to make that be the way he gets out.
He needs to have something on him that.
So introducing that weapon, and you see 4 people, and you're thinking like, oh, it looks like there's a fuck ton of those little whistling bird things. Like, it looks like there's at least like, what, 12, 15? I don't know. Like, it's hard to quantify, but I mean, definitely more than 4.
Yeah.
So first of all, when I see it, when I watch this episode and he walks out and he picks up Baby Yoda, I'm like, what the fuck stopped these things from just hitting Baby Yoda?
Yeah, because
There's two ways of thinking. I'm thinking to myself, okay, it picks up like a thermal trace and it just hits everyone except you. And I'm like, okay, well, I would kill Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, these things are just fucking random as shit, and like Yoda just got lucky as fuck he didn't get one in the dome. Like,
that would explain why Baby Yoda just goes fucking, oh shit, and shuts the shit.
That's my only way of thinking, is like they're just totally sporadic and it like happened to hit all four of them and just miss everyone else.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think they're homing in some way. Like, the Star Wars technology is insane, and the fact that it hit them all mid-body, like at the same spot.
Low grade technology is like Wakanda technology in Marvel.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, it definitely was homing. But like, it's just funny to imagine like it's either this or that. Like,
that'd be funny. That'd be
funny to pose that like these things were totally random and Yoda just happened not to get hit.
Oh, but yeah, Mando.
Sorry.
Mando calmly picks up Baby and he walks out of the building, and we cut to the cantina where every bounty hunter has their.
This was.
Going. Did you ever see John Wick 2?
I haven't seen 2.
This is exactly how John Wick 2 ends.
That's so awesome.
The tracking fobs, like all the assassins in New York City get like a notification like your target is now John Wick. Sorry for the spoiler, but your target is now John Wick. So everyone in the city is like getting a text, and you're watching all these people like you're after this guy now. So like it gave me those vibes. Just all these tracking fobs started beeping, and I was like, oh fuck, this is so
the
cool.
tracking that scene, like all of them, and then they slowly start moving in, and you hear those. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
I love
Mando's making his way downtown, walking fast.
When you see
and he's homebound,
his hand over his gun, like I just love that. Like he's like, I just capped all these stormtroopers. Like I just want to get this little baby and just go live my life. Like let me go.
Wonderful. But in the streets, he's greeted by Grief Karga and the Guild, and they are fully surrounded. And Karga and Mando exchange words. Nonetheless, Mando's is not going to go down without a fucking fight.
No.
And this draw and fire from Mando is easily the coolest shit he ever does in the show for me. And here's why. There's so much behind this draw and fire, okay? He's got this baby that he is now protecting with his life no matter what.
With no pod. It's just a blanket. Like,
yes. And in this moment, he has to decide whether or not he can give this baby up and certainly walk away with his life, or potentially die protecting it.
Right.
And he calmly just stands there for a second and then fucking just and shoots one of them, dips into that fucking into the fucking speeder, and he holds the astromech droid at gunpoint. It was fucking kick ass, and he holds it at gunpoint. Drive. And Karga, being halfway intelligent as they're all shooting at Mando, shoots the astromech and gets him to stop moving. Amazing, nobody else thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
And after a tense and silent standoff, one of the bounty hunters gets disintegrated.
Dude, oh my gosh, I freaked out when you see the little, it's like a 2 prongs basically. Is what
and they like sneak out in front.
Slip out, and it's like nobody's noticing. I'm like, oh, y'all fucked up. Like, y'all are getting disintegrated now. Like, it wasn't enough to...
The view we got of them, like, through his scope, getting disintegrated, kick ass.
So freaking awesome. I fucking love that shit. Inject it into my goddamn veins. It was so good.
Karga yells out, "That's one impressive weapon." And Mando lays down his terms. He's like, "I'm going to walk to my ship with the kid, and y'all are going to let it happen." And Karga fires back. He's like, "Nah, we take the kid, and if you try to stop us, we'll kill you and strip your body for parts." And I was like, damn, that was a lot more intense than his threat.
Yep.
And Mando engages a couple more bounty hunters after this, and it opens them up to getting cornered. And they begin closing in on him, and he uses his flamethrower to keep them at bay. But because he used so much fuel already, shit runs out on him. He looks down at the baby, knowing he's out of options, and this is probably where he dies. That's probably what he's thinking here. He's like, shit, I've fucked up. Not I fucked up, but like, I've made this choice. This is what's going to happen now, I guess. And Then here come the Mandalorians, baby. You see those jetpacks rise up, bro. One of my this part makes this episode one of my favorite bits of Star Wars content we've ever gotten. Like, this episode is probably my favorite of the series so far, and it in large part is due to this. This is so cool, the way they all come out of the shadows to protect Mando and the baby, because this is the way. And I was
it's so good, because you see, like, when he's in the armor room earlier in this episode, and you get that bitterness. He almost fights the heavy infantry Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and you almost get the sense that, like, they don't. I don't know. It's not that you think everyone in there hates Mando, but, like, there's just that, like, are they really gonna go to bat, like, for each other, like how? I mean, these are supposed to be a unified people, like, protect and all that stuff.
And they really
and, like,
do.
By code,
Rides for their man.
You're kind of wondering, like, damn, he's really hung out to dry. Like, until I see them come out, it hadn't even crossed my mind that
it hadn't even occurred to me that might happen.
I never even thought that they would come help him. And then all of a sudden, just all these jetpacks flying in, and it's like, oh, shit.
It was amazing, man. And Heavy Mando tells normal Mando to get the fuck out of here. He's like, but Mando's like, you'll need to relocate the covert. And Heavy Mando's like, this is the way. And I was like, fuck yeah! That's my exact notes. All caps, FUUUCK space YEAHHHH, all caps.
Good. I mean, the fact that they're willing to sacrifice that and, like, go to that length, it's just like, wow, like, damn, these people are really, like, doing noble ass work in the shadows. Like, no, they don't want the glory amongst all of the people, which they get indirectly, but that doesn't, I mean, they hide. So it's not like they're walking into cantinas like, oh, I'm a Mandalorian.
Like, hey, look, I'm a Mandalorian.
I would like a drink on the house, please. Like, no.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, like, they're doing it for the code. Like, they're doing it for their own people, It's just fucking, it's just so cool.
I think my favorite part of this scene is how many bullets or blasters are being fired at Mando, and just how still. He is still. Like, he's been through this before. He's been in this situation, but the only time he gets nervous is when he's cornered in, he looks at Baby Yoda, and he just stares. He's like, I'm dying for you. Like, I don't know. It was just so...
And this, like you said earlier, this episode is where we see a different side of Mando, and this is where I realized the show was taking a different direction than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought maybe it would result in this, like, powerful connection between the two of them, like a father-son relationship. But
I definitely thought it was going to be rough and tough.
This part makes it so evident.
Yeah, I definitely had. I'm kind of with you. I definitely had, when I heard about it, I'm thinking, oh, like, bounty hunters. We're talking like Jango Fett types. Like, yeah, there's, like, this is rough and tough. Like, there's going to be grit. This is going to be like, in my head, I'm thinking like anti-hero type show.
So am I.
And then in the end, he's freaking basically adopting Baby Yoda.
It's like, we're basically watching just a dad protecting his kid.
Yeah, it's like, wow, what a turn. Like, what a twist.
It's fucking glorious, though. And Mando runs to his ship where he comes face to face with Karga one last time, and Mando fills the ship with smoke, and then he smokes Karga with a bullet to the chest. And do you think he shot him exactly where he knew the Beskar was?
But how would he know that?
Earlier in the episode, he pulled it out of his pocket and showed him, like, exactly where it was.
I feel like he knew that eventually Karga would, like, he was never going to be out of the picture. You know what I mean? Well, like, I say, obviously, if he kills him, yes. But I think he knew, like, there would be some point in time where there's some scenario where, like, he could either probably smooth things over with Karga and still get stuff out of him and use him, or B, that Karga was, like, you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying for sure. So and I'm so glad Karga is going to be a big part of season 2.
Yeah, I definitely think I had just, when I rewatched it didn't really occur to me the first time, but after the rewatch just now, and I heard the ting, you hear that hit. It doesn't sound like flesh. Like, it doesn't sound like it hit him. Like, it hit something else. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that seems so deliberate. I mean, who are we to doubt Mandalorian? His shot is cold as fuck. That man is nasty with the blaster. Like, if he wanted to hit him in a lethal spot, I feel like he would have.
That's true.
Yeah, and I mean, like, maybe it was just luck for Karga, but I don't know. It just seems like
no, I don't think it. I literally, okay, in the docuseries, they talk about that he was just going to be like a character in a few episodes, and then they were going to kill him. But then they kept him in because of how good of an actor he is. Dang, he was supposed to die right there.
You're probably right. You're probably right. That probably was where he was supposed to die, and then they probably did rewrites based on tests of his character.
Unless they rewrote it completely, like how he lived, sort of thing. But that literally was the original plan. That's insane.
Yeah, you're right. That would make sense. That probably is originally.
I mean, dude, it's Apollo Creed. Did they really think his acting chops weren't going to be fucking A1? Like, you don't think you need Apollo Creed?
I mean, he's Carl.
You don't think you need Apollo fucking Creed in your show? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. That man is sticking around for the long haul.
No doubt, no doubt. And on his fly away, Mando looks out his window to see a flying Mandalorian, and he's like, fuck, I gotta get one of those.
Okay, sorry if that sounded awful. I totally just lost my mic off my head there. But anyway, Colton and Joe are the only one that saw that. But like, if you guys that listen, I just know that it was probably really clumsy looking. But
yeah, it was indeed.
I love it. I love that line. Like, I gotta give you one of those,
bro. And he gets one of those.
He indeed does get one of those.
Season two, he's gonna have a jetpack.
I think it's so badass because like you see him get this brand new set of armor, and you see all these people that are not Mandalorian be like, "Damn, this motherfucker rolling deep." Like he gets Mr. Nice Watch, like drippy out here with the fucking goddamn armor, like full set, looking cold. And then they got jetpacks, and he's like, "Damn, like I'm really not shit yet. Like I gotta get a jetpack." Well, like I feel like he's probably feeling himself a little, but like you know what I mean. He's like, "Damn, I need a jetpack." Like that's so
badass. And on this flyaway, we see little Baby Yoda stretching, reaching up for the little ball, and Mando unscrews it and hands it to him. And I fucking love it. I fucking love it.
We'll I just think, like, how funny is it that it's like we have came back to this little metal knob from a like gear shifter or something, and it's like that, but we're not everyone. Like, it's literally we're not just us. It's everyone.
Yeah, a gear shifter on a spaceship.
Search up I bet Baby Yoda ball. You're going to get millions of tweets about how fucking glorified that little metal ball is in the Star Wars like fan club. I hate myself. I just said Star Wars fan club. What the fuck was that? But
without that ball, Baby Yoda would have been dead.
Without that ball, Baby Yoda would have been dead because Mando wouldn't have thought twice about it. You know, he looked at the ball, it was gone, and he was like, "That's it. I got to go back."
Then I would eat him, or would I?
You would. So to top off this episode, we got to talk about where Joe stands this week on eating Baby Yoda. Last week, I think we ended on about a 40-60 split in favor of not eating him.
Yeah, I think it started at 70-30, maybe even 80-20, and then I got down to 60-40.
It started out at 75-20.
And then I know it eventually slowly crept up throughout the segment.
It was very quick, but I did a lot of research. Surprisingly,
he did what he said.
I actually researched, and there are many, many people who want to eat him, but there are many, many more.
Like it's a revelation.
But
that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. There are far more people who do not want to eat Baby Yoda than there are that do.
But, so, my thought process was, he's really, really cute, and sometimes you say to babies like, "Oh my god, I just want to eat you," or I want to squeeze you, you know? So, that is a natural reaction. Because you actually
been weirded out by it.
Your sentiment, I think, is spot on. Like your analogy, I just don't want you to.
Think you're right. That is a thing that people say. But every time I've ever heard it, I always go, "Oh God, that's just so weird to me."
and the psychology behind it, I guess I became a psychology major over the weekend, which was pretty cool, studying Baby Yoda.
Actually did,
but anyway,
like I bet you,
I did. I swear.
He took like a
I told you I would do it, and I did
psych class for this. Like that's what I like to imagine, like a crash.
But well,
so where have you landed here? What's your research led you to?
I don't know. Okay, there's a little bit more I gotta say because it's important. Because right now I'm going. Okay, so that emotion that you feel when you want to eat a baby or squeeze it, we don't have an emotion for that. And the reason we say it is because it's so outlandish that it shows our love for a baby.
You are so cute that I would do this unthinkable thing.
But when you first said it and it described it without going and like connecting the dots at the end there, I was like really, really just laughing at how absurd it sounds. But I'm gonna be honest, you're kind of swaying me now. I'm actually really following and kind of buying it.
No, but I'm psychology aside.
There's ethics too. I did an entire research on the ethics of it too. So I did psychology, ethics, and then just the normal average public, would they eat it? Okay. Because I knew there was ethics behind it, you know. You think. You look at a cow and you look at some animals and you're like, damn, those are really cute, but I still eat them. And you feel really bad about it. And
not this guy.
That's why people go vegan, because they look at an animal and like, oh my God, I eat that. Also,
that's exactly why I went vegetarian.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, you have like dogs, cats, the things that we deem too cute to eat. So there was an entire argument on, is Baby Yoda actually cute or not? Because in reality, he kind of ugly. His teeth are fucking weird. His ears are big as fuck, and he's fucking green. He's green.
And see, that's the thing, though. Baby Yoda is cute the way that white women call old people cute.
You're right. You're right.
I love
You're
the way
absolutely
that this
right.
conversation has digressed into white women calling old people cute.
Yep.
Well,
because but the crazy thing is,
oh, you're such a cute old man. It's like, no, he's not.
No,
I'm sorry. No,
you're right.
Not.
He's ugly as fuck. He's wrinkly as fuck. His ball sack is fucking disgusting. Think about it, man. Literally every part of the body is saggy, bro. Even their face. Okay, but there's this. Okay, so now, basically, you deem animals too cute to eat. So the question becomes, is Baby Yoda ugly enough to eat? And this is when I went to the general public side of the research. There's many polls on Twitter, many. And that's, the numbers are not on the eating side. But you go on Reddit, that number skyrockets.
The way you posed, the way you phrased that, is Baby Yoda ugly enough to eat, is very important.
It is very important.
He is so cute that I wouldn't eat him, but I do happen to think that he is ugly enough to eat.
Right?
I honestly think I have just more questions now. I feel less solid about either side now than I did before this episode.
Exactly.
And to be honest, this has actually made me more sure than ever that I would not eat Baby Yoda. My loyalty is everything about this conversation has led me to being like, no, here's the thing though. That's not how I feel personally. Like, he's not so ugly that I would eat him, but from an objective eye, I can look at it and go, okay, I see that. But I think he's literally the most adorable thing that's ever existed.
See, now I'm really lost because Joseph thinks he's cute, but if he's about to say that he's ugly enough to eat, now I'm really, really stuck on where we stand.
Okay. So this is where it all comes together. The last portion of the research of the general public was looking through memes.
I mean,
it's a very important thing in our culture, and we got to respect the memes. You know, it's not an article.
I mean,
not
I think
sourced
it's so
anywhere,
important that this is where it ended. I think if you end anywhere else, you just have no solution.
Yes, exactly. You're right. And an overwhelming amount of Baby Yoda memes is not the teacup, the little teacup or soup cup he's holding. No, It is about eating Baby Yoda. It's about blending his ass up in a blender, or making him into a cake, eating that.
Well, okay, for that part, you have to take into account what Twitter was about in 2020. Twitter was on making everything a fucking cake, man. That can't just be Baby Yoda.
You think I just went on Twitter? No. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. I wanted to get all bases covered. And so I literally tallied eating versus non-eating Baby Yoda memes. And I shit you not. I looked at 100 Baby Yoda memes across each Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. Okay.
There's so many people who want to eat Baby Yoda.
These are the numbers. Right. You ready for the numbers?
Yes.
There are, out of the 100 memes each, in total 300 memes I looked at, which is kind of insane now that I look back.
Oh, no.
I respect the hustle.
I would assume it's a good sample size, so I hope the math goes out for the... Okay, it's I know. Good. I'm sorry. But the numbers are, I have them right here. 187 of them were eating Baby Yoda. That's an overwhelming majority. That's almost 200. That is almost 66% of people.
No.
Okay.
Okay. But also, you have to take into account who's the person eating a Baby Yoda eating meme. It's the people who want to eat Baby Yoda.
Okay. Or they're doing it for the meme culture and trying to get some likes on social media.
You're not wrong. You're not. Your sample size is very solid, and the fact that there are as many not eating baby. What would that be? 123? Is that or 113? Is that where we land?
Mm-hmm.
That's enough to make me go, okay, I was fucking wrong in saying that the majority of people who are making these memes would automatically go, I'm eating Baby Yoda.
So,
but I mean,
what to grab out of this? In summary, let me tell you. The psychology side, it wins with Baby Yoda's cute, I would never eat him. The ethics side is obviously still, I would never eat Baby Yoda. But the general public, in practice, not theory, would eat the fuck out of Baby Yoda. I am 90% eating him, 10% not.
That's a massive launch. It was
and teams. Can you fault him for jumping that much? I mean, I am still 100% not eating Baby Yoda because I fucking love the shit out of him. But
dude,
no, out of respect for Joseph's hustle, I'm going 95.5.
Not eating him? Oh, okay.
I have to tell you.
Yeah, I'm not eating.
I was thinking about eating Baby Yoda so much that I thought of the ways I would eat him. Obviously.
Okay. Should we save this for next week?
2020.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice little tease for episode 4. That'll be our sign-off segment.
Let me give you a little tease.
Baby Yoda
or a little
cookbook. And not recipes decorated.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda. We're talking about using Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
But there's only one, so like you gotta really pick one you like. Like you gotta really find the one.
And that's important because my hint for the episode is that he's a little dude. You gotta cut him up to try different meals with him. That's all I'll say.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Can't wait.
What, you just gonna use his whole body on one thing of freaking ice cream? No!
Ice cream? That's not where I thought that was. Okay, I'm excited now. Ice cream wasn't even fucking occurring to me. The fact that it occurred to you is a good indicator for me. I'm excited to talk about this next week.
Dude, this was probably one of my best and most fun homework assignments of all time.
Well, you're gonna have to. You keep doing it. Keep looking.
I just like to imagine that Joseph like totally failed any assignments from last week in his classes and just did this. And like hey, honestly, I think you should have just turned that research in, no matter what class and assignment. Just turn that in and been like, listen, instead of doing your work, I did this. If I don't get an A, like I don't know if like I can be in this class anymore.
Man, I should have documented all of it. Literally, I didn't take a single screenshot or save anything, man. I have to do it again. I have to do more, bigger sample sizes.
We must continue. We must push forth. But This has been the Penny Bloom Podcast. I am Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George, the man who 90% would eat Baby Yoda, and my friend Kyler, who still 100% would not. It's been a real fun time having you guys.
You guys should do the research. You'll change your mind.
Dude, you have to look into the Baby Yoda eating research.
Open the third eye for Joseph. Dude. I definitely won't be changing my mind.
It opened my eyes, man. Not even.
But I gotta say that Joseph did do some research. So hey, maybe give him the time of day. Don't dismiss him too early.
Oh, it's impressive. It's impressive.
By the way, if any parents are listening, I'm a week ahead in school before I did this research. That's right, moms all over America. Yeah, that's right.
Goddamn right. A responsible child here. Or a responsible adult. I apologize. Next week on the Penny Bloom Pod, you will hear me and Tavares discuss The Dark Knight. Very excited about that. And then next Tuesday, we will be talking about The Mandalorian.
You know the deal. Every week.
4. Every week, baby. And then maybe even into season 2.
Bum, bum.
See ya.
I'll see you guys later. Love you,
See
buddy.
ya.
Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves.